All right, everybody out there in the Craft Chest Nation, it's iCraft Chest here. And there's been a lot of people messaging me, DMing on Discord, sending messages and comments on YouTube about the T2 situation. And first and foremost, I want to apologize for the watermark for VCam right here, but I haven't renewed the license. I'm sorry, I'm lazy. And in this video up front, I will be probably having this and some of this. I'm not going to name them, but it is what it is. And since the kitty cats are asleep, yes, cats. There was another one dropped off. I don't want to get into that right now. I don't want to digress into that. But since they are both laying down and being quiet, because I made another video earlier, yesterday, day before yesterday, I don't know when it was. They were interrupting me. And it was a very lengthy video. Maybe I might do some sort of, screenshot, or what do we used to call those things where it wasn't video? Slideshow? Yeah, slideshow. With audio in the future. I don't know, because there was a lot of name dropping going on about how it was that I actually met T2 Darlantan. And up front, before I get into talking about anything about him, first and foremost, I know it's been a while since we've talked, but as anybody out there in the internet world knows, no matter how long it is, and Gun Toad himself can attest to this, no matter how long it is that we spend apart from one another, we don't speak or whatever, you know as well as I do that every last one of you out there, pay attention to what your friends are doing online. Your online friends. Especially if you haven't talked to them in a little while. You know you do. Don't lie. You know you do. You'll log into Discord. Are they on? You'll see if they did a tweet on X. You'll see if they posted a video. If they have Instagram, that. If they have Facebook, that. You check in on your friends, if not by speech or video or personally, you just do. And as I stated in my, New Year's video, as I try to do, maybe not consistently, but I try to do a New Year's video for everybody out there on the 31st of December every year. I hadn't spoken to T2 probably since July. Maybe a little earlier. So I had no idea that in September, October, November, December, that he had those issues going on. But I did notice he wasn't live streaming. And I had to look at Discord, and there really wasn't a whole lot going on. I don't remember him posting anything, because I wasn't scrolling through and reading every message. But I did notice he wasn't as active. He wasn't in the voice chats. He wasn't streaming games like he used to. I noticed the subtle differences with my friend, my internet friend. And I was like, what's going on? Because before, I know this is going to sound wrong. He was talking about his friend at work that was teaching him, and he was learning different ways of other parts of the world. And I was like, oh man, surely not. But you never know. But I noticed. And yeah, I pay attention to the people that have been there, oh my God, for 20 years now, I guess. At least 19. 2007, 2008, 9. When I don't even remember when I stumbled across his first video. But I remember he was putting together a computer and couldn't get it to work just right. And at the time, I think this is after I had already quit my real job to go and try to be a computer mastermind and do system builds and have my own computer company. Which didn't fail. I just found something that made more money, which I'm doing still today. But I remember somehow or another, I don't know if it was something I was looking for and came across the live stream he was doing. I don't remember what website it was, because back then you didn't have a whole lot of choices. You had Blip, you had Ustream. I don't think it was there. Well, maybe it was Ustream or Blip or one of those. I don't know if Justin was a thing, but I remember there he was. And at first, he just thought I was a dude in the chat. You know, oh, he's trying to troll, whatever. And he's always been very standoffish when it comes to people. And later years, as everybody out there that has paid attention knows, that I'm actually probably one of the few people that have met T2 Darlantan in person. And that right there in itself, I'm not going to digress onto that story, onto how I even found him. All I knew is he lived in Lexington, Kentucky at the time. Off of this loop past a castle. Remember the castle? And I remember I was like, hey, there's the castle. I got to be close. And I turned off a road. And I'll digress a little bit. Pulled off this road into the Burger King parking lot. Just by coincidence. And I was trying to catch a signal to say, hey, Rampage, will you relay a message to T2 or the guys in whatever, you know, Skype or whatever it is that we used to use back then, voice-wise. Or, you know, I think you used the IRC and all this other stuff back then. Relay a message and say, hey, look, I'm here. And about 15 minutes later, I'm sitting there and I'm actually making a video. And I don't know what happened to that. I think the camera like died after the fact, but I'm actually making a selfie video with a camera, like an actual like Canon picture taking camera that did video also. And I look up the road and I'm like, wait a minute. That's T2. There he is right there. What's he doing here? And it's like, just so happened, I still remember him walking up the street and he's filming me and I'm filming him and whatever. And I get out my car and he's like, hey, what's going on? like, you remember how you used to do, hey, guys, what's going on? And it was awesome. So, let me stop digressing. I don't even know where I was on the story. But I know him like that from back then. And through the years, we've kept in touch. You know, especially when Discord came along, 2014, 2015. And we all had our channels, and he was always invited. As a matter of fact, I separated, and if you're in my Discord, you'll know that I have it separated by commanders and regulars and then everybody else. And we have our different channels that we have the God Hand, and then we have all the other channels. And only the admin, which are the upper echelon of friends from back in the day, are allowed in that channel. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry. I may like you, but only certain people could just jump in that channel without permission. And T2's always been one, to me. That's just my opinion. That's just the way it has always been, because he was one of the first people that mutually we had gained trust with one another. And through the years, we've had a lot of back and forth. And it's been a lot of... everybody knows it's acting. All right, if you don't, and if he didn't, it's all acting. Nothing was serious. All little spoof videos that T2 and I used to go back and forth with one another. Storm Killer would jump in the mix. And, you know, Storm Killer 22, I think, was one of his best friends. At the time, there was Slappa. There was, I think, LaMile's always been around. Guntoad jumped in the mix after a while. Mr. Rogers has always been there. Jet Phase. I don't know if Jet Phase is still around, but Jet Phase has always been there. Leaf Ninja, I think, came from my community to jump to his and both of ours, and the list goes on. If I didn't name you, forgive me, but I don't want to digress on trying to remember every name of every person from 20 years ago. So there's been people that's been there since the beginning. And I guess my point is this, is that no matter how long it's been since we've seen each other in video or spoken to each other like this, and you hear my voice, I hear your voice, we're talking to each other, that it doesn't matter, we're still friends. And I think it's just mutually agreed. I have people IRL that I don't speak to for months and months and months, and I'll check in on them every now and again, because that's what you do with people. Even if you're not very close, but you still care. I don't DM people very much, and everybody out there knows this. Me and Guntoad are probably the only two people, and Quinn, I'll mention her also, that really keep in the loop. And Guntoad doesn't know who Quinn is, but he's a very good friend, in my opinion. She's always been a cool person. But Guntoad is one of my best friends online. Mr. Rogers, I would say, would be top 5. T2 definitely top 5. And I'm not comparing one to the other, because this is about T2. My point being is that no matter how much time and space that we have apart from each other, we still care. When you get my point, that's where I'm going with this. So whenever I didn't see anything in the past 6 months, I was kind of personally thinking about it. And I did make a couple of comments on my December video about the new year and all that, about how I didn't know what was going on with him. And I take it that he's the type of person that would keep it within his family, and I understand that. But I want everybody out there to know that your blood family, IRL, I get it, that's your family. But you also too have an internet family. And no matter what you may think, we have and do and should take care of each other within the inner circle. And I was kind of taken aback whenever I saw his video, because I've watched it a couple of 2-3 times now. Because at first, I was like, what's going on with this? But before I get on that, I just want to make the point that if anything's going on in your life, okay, don't hesitate to put out a DM. Don't hesitate to put out a video and say, hey, look, Craft Chest Nation, T2 Universe, you know, Guntoad, he's big on TikTok right now. And I don't know who else is. I don't know what you got going on in your social media life. But that's just the 3 that I know. But don't hesitate to say, hey, man, I got this going on. Is there anything you may be able to do to help? And if people out there remember you, and please forgive me, I don't remember your name, I do, but I don't at the moment. Whenever I did the GoFundMe for the Gods of Games, JP and Kitty, and Fallon and them, whenever they had that wreck to pay for their deductible, somebody stepped up and paid $500. So we take care of each other. That's my point. Okay? And I think, thinking about T2's situation, he said he tried to set up a GoFundMe. Listening to his video, it seems to me like right now, and I talked, believe it or not, you know, I talked to my general manager because we kind of gel together like that. And I told her about this. And I told her that, yes, I consider him a friend, and I'm concerned. And she says, you need to take some time off to go see him. I was like, well, he lives in Kentucky, but I don't know where now. And so maybe in the future we'll work out the details. And then I told her about little things that he said in his video and this, that, and the third. And I said, let's just wait a minute. Let's not jump to anything. And let me see what's going on. And I don't know if, as the post in this video or not, that I have contacted him, but he had mentioned in his video that he was going to set up a GoFundMe, but he couldn't get his phone to work. And that's one thing I don't understand. I'm not bashing you, T2. Don't take it this way. But folks out there, everybody, I'm telling you, stop trying to do shit on your phone. It does not work the same as a fucking computer. Okay? It just does not. If you're sitting in front of a computer that you're familiar with, do it then. You know? Setting up a GoFundMe on a phone is probably like a monkey doing a math problem, no matter who it is. I'm just saying. I don't do anything like that on a phone. Those things, you could look back 10, 11, 12, 15 years ago where I was the phones are just whatever. You know, when you have a PC, do it there. And I'm kind of thinking that going through the emotional roller coaster that I saw in this video, do we need to set up a GoFundMe? Because getting to the point of this video is that our friend is in need. The man, and I don't want this to sound like a joke, the man that fooled the world, and I know that he brought that up in his video about the Make-A-Wish thing, and he didn't go into detail about it, but that, you're not getting payback, dude. Okay, that was, you know, whatever. God's not punishing you for that now for that. He's just not. He would have already gotten your ass. Trust me. But do we need to set up one? Has anyone set up one? Leave it down in the comments. Let me know. And send me a DM on Discord. If not, I'll put invite Discord link to my channel. You can DM me then after the fact, or on Discord it's just Craft Chest. I mean, let me look and see what it says on here, what my actual channel name is. I don't think it has any hashtags or anything, but just going on my channel, yeah, it's just Craft Chest _MMO. Look it up and join the channel. And I'm not doing it for anybody to join the channel because, as everybody out there knows, I'm not very active because of a full-time job. as I used to be. But I'm concerned of some of the things that he said in his video. And I don't know why, but I care. I mean, think about it for a second. There's people out there that make comments about don't give up. I've known you since my childhood. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. But why should we care? You know? Why should we care about a man that very few of us, and let's just say, let me leave this out of the equation, none of us have ever met. You don't know this dude. The entire time he has ever done anything, anywhere, could be bullshit. Why should we care? I'll tell you why. Because we're human beings. And at the core of it, no matter what your beliefs are, no matter what you stand for, no matter what religion, no matter what left side, right side, center, we're humans. And at the core of it, the good, decent people out there care. Whether you want to or not. That's why. And so, I say this, because I don't want to digress onto, history any more than I have. I don't believe in a no-win situation. And I'm not taking that from a movie. I'm taking that from a movie that I have always lived by. I do believe that T2, first of all, if I could speak to him personally, and I might, or he might watch this video. Sir, don't give up. No matter what pain you have, and you talk about Tylenol, you need to stop, get off them fucking Tylenols. You want to know the miracle drug for pain is ibuprofen 800s. I'm telling you right now. You need to get the doctor on their fucking job. Go to a dentist and tell them you have teeth problems or whatever. Get you some ibuprofen 800s to reduce the swelling. Tylenol is bullshit. Fuck Tylenol. Ibuprofen 800s. Alright? Prescribed medicine, yes. But miracle drug, I don't care what anybody says. It does more than just inflammation. Trust me. Alright? It's a miracle drug. So first and foremost, you need to do that. Secondly, don't give up. If I sat right here tonight knowing that I had throat cancer, esophagus cancer, stomach cancer, or whatever it was, yeah, I'd be as emotional as he was, because everybody's mortality, we don't want to die. I don't want to die. I want to live forever. Maybe not forever, but I want to live like Methuselah. I want to live like Moses. I want to live like Dr. McCoy. Alright? Give me 137 years. In 4 months. Or whatever the fuck it was. That's how long I want to go. But if I don't have that, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, woe is me. Let me just start giving up. No. And I'm being for real when I say that. I've had everything, and anybody out there that remembers me from the dark times, I've had nothing. Nothing. I had everything that I always wanted. And I hate saying this name because I Talk about a dude on the radio that mentions it every day. I've had everything that I always wanted before Hurricane Katrina, 2005. And all of that shit went poof in a day. So trust me when I tell you. And that wasn't even the hardest times. That was just then. That wasn't even the dark times. As a matter of fact, right up here, the only thing that I have surviving from that is a Enterprise D that I found up in a fucking tree that was signed by my unit. I don't know if I want to grab it or not. I don't know how easy it would be to grab it and show you how easily it is to lose stuff. Let me see if I can grab it. Yeah, here it is. But this, see the autographs on this? I don't know if you can see that. But this is the sole surviving thing from the most devastating thing that happened to me. Not health-wise, not physically, but personally. And that's why I keep it right there. To remind me, you can have nothing again. And I ain't got much now. I've built back up. Everybody's seen Project Defiant and everything that we've done with the car. You know, we've seen my PC builds, and I've done updates and pictures and this, that, and the third on all the computers that we've built and blown up and whatever through the years. But one thing has always been consistent is we don't give up. First and foremost. Especially as, you know, you look at things going on around the world right now, especially. And then secondly, you don't draw up and don't talk to people. Keeping shit bottled up into yourself or just to you and your family, that's no bueno, man. That's no good at all. Live your life like it's the last day. You know what I mean? That's what so many people out there say. You know, don't just say, hey, I'm hurting, I ain't doing it. Fuck it. You know, if I drop before this video is done, at least I know I've lived. And at least I know that I wanted to pass on something that I cared about. You know what I mean? Because whether you know it or not, everybody out there that's always been part of our internet family, you matter. Every last one of you. Can I drag this over? I wish I could drag this over. Why won't it let me drag this over? Make this bigger. Because I can go down through this list of all the people that have always been there. And I always remember the people that comment on the video. Always. People that always have showed their support for me. And now, I think in reverse. The ultimate point is we need to show our support for T2. And T2, please don't give up until you get the results. Because I looked up, I paused, I looked up, I paused, I looked up. And it was like, oh, well, this is normal, that's normal. All the Z access from the incisors and this, that, whatever. I looked it up. Most of it's normal. It's that mass that either could be treated. And it seems like to me in the year 2026, we should be able to, you know, give him a goat throat or something like that. It doesn't, you know, I'm just saying. Cut out and repair the damage. I don't know. I know that the esophagus is actually pretty complicated because you got to consider when you swallow, it knows to go cuckoo, 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 and it squeezes food down. And if that doesn't do right, then it can mess you up. And I know this, once again, don't want to digress too much because I knew a lady named Judy whose digestive tract, I hate even thinking about it. She had a condition where it worked in reverse. Oh. Ugh. At least it doesn't have that happening. Hers worked in reverse until they got something fixed. I forget what it was. It wasn't even a hiatal hernia or whatever. Whew, she had issues, bruh. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine going through that shit. No pun intended. Ugh. So when you think you got it bad, there's somebody out there that's got it worse. Is all I'm saying. So let's get the results first. And let us know, man. If you need help, we're here. I'm here. I may not be able to do much, but I'm here. The community may not be able to do much, but we're here. After the past 20 years, there's got to be something we could do to help. And that's one thing that I think that so many people out there are so scared to do is ask for help. Or a second opinion. Or a third opinion. Or I don't like any of this, I'm going to the best. Don't just give up and say, oh, well, I'm going to die in, a month. I can't eat. Don't give up. If you got to take the little bitty bites and take 4 hours to eat a meal, fuck it. What else you doing? Especially at work. You say you don't do much. Walk around and eat. Just constantly. Just throw shit in your mouth. Fuck it. Don't give up. I remember, what's that Rocky movie where he talks about stuff happens to you and you just keep moving forward. Life may get hard, but you just keep moving forward. That's what you got to do. Sometimes these things, and I know that I'm, using little whatevers about it, but it's true. You got to just keep moving forward and don't give up. And I think the reason why the don't give up thing sticks in my brain so much is because talking to my mama before she died, as she said to me, and I never will forget this, she says, out of our children, I knew that you would be the one to be able to survive. Because reasons. She gave me some reasons. But I remember she gave me this big old picture that says, never give up. And she says, you stuck to that. And I know that you'll be the one to succeed, no matter how little or how big it may be. But you will be the survivor out of our children. And I don't know about the other ones because I haven't talked to them in years and years, whatever. Doesn't matter. That part doesn't matter. But that's the one thing that stuck with me is never give up. No matter what the circumstances, no matter what the health issues. And let me tell you something, folks. I have personally been through some, I wouldn't say as dramatic as cancer issues. But I have been through some issues. Health, personal, body. That was just so unexplainable to me. I still, right now, don't know how I didn't drop dead from a heart attack. I don't know if it was a heart attack. I'm telling you. Where it felt like, one time it felt like 1,000 pounds dropped on top of my head. One time I had a full body cramp, like every finger muscle in my body just seized. I've had it where I felt like I was drowning. Recently, this is the past month or two that happened, where I woke up in this whole I can't even reproduce the way it felt. Shit, it might have been sleep apnea, I don't know. But I jumped up out of the bed and just thought I was drowning. If that's what it felt like. Maybe I was abducted. I don't fucking know. But I thought I was about to die. That's what it felt like. And there's been other things happen. Shit, I've been at work where things happen and I just dropped to my knees and this dude's like, "Are you serious right now?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm sorry. I'll be all right in just a moment. Give me just a minute." And I've dropped to my knees, but, whatever. So trust me, I know. I know a lot of people look at me and say, "Oh, he never had nothing happen to him. He's all blah, blah, blah." No, bullshit. All right? Bullshit. I'm older than anybody out there in this community. And I am not telling you any lies when I say I understand his plight. Because I've been to the edge of what I thought was death. Trust me. And some situations I've been in, I've been at the edge of death. Trust me. So I know what it's like to think you're going to die. I do. And that's why I say, T2, don't give up, man. You let us know what you need. And we're there for you. If I can give $1, I will. If I can give 10, 100, 1,000, I will. You need somebody to help you with a GoFundMe to get your radiation treatment, if that's what it ends up being, is cancer, like straight up cancer. You need to get your results first, though. Please, let us know. Please. I'm asking you as an internet friend, as a friend, somebody I've met in person. And ever since that day, I've always considered you a friend. You may not think this, you may not know this, you may not consider that, but yes, I do. Okay? That's the way Native Americans work. You meet somebody, you like them, you're a friend forever. We could walk away and 20 years later walk up. It's like yesterday. Ask Untoad. Just ask him. He and I is the same way. I know you could make it through this. And I know the power of mass positivity. You may not believe it, but I want everybody out there within the sound of my voice, whether you believe or don't believe in a God, in a creator of the universe, in Allah, or whatever it is that you may believe or not believe, agnostic, atheist, or whatever, put all those down right now for a moment for your friend. And believe that he will be healed. Okay? I believe he will be healed. I want him to be healed. And if everybody out there just in your own way, no matter when you see this video, say that. You don't have to do it to a creator. You don't have to do it to a god. You don't have to do it to an alien. Do it to the universe, because that's one thing that I've gotten away from and started saying is, why is the universe doing this to us today? Like, all right, like I'll tell somebody, we got like 3 of us at work. Okay, so-and-so, go to lunch. Every customer in the store, none of them heard it. None. But every one of them, woof, right at the words of you doing it, and they clock out and they go to lunch. Every customer in the store wants to check out and leaving you a person short. It's just the universe. So let's believe in the universe of positive thinking and know that T2 could be cured. Because, dude, you're not done yet. You're not. You're not done yet. And you better not sit there sulking. You need to get out there. Keep on making videos. Keep on trying. I know your pain must be bad from your description. But I'm telling you, get you some ibuprofen 800s. Okay? Stay off that Vicodin and Percocets and all that other ibuprofens, bro. I'm telling you. And it'll help. It'll take the swelling down, whatever. You may actually be able to eat. All right? I'm telling you. But if I'm wrong, I apologize. And if you only have a couple of months to live, I'm going to end it here. Just let everybody know. I'm not trying to make jokes. But I'm being serious at all of this that I said. And I know I could go on for hours and hours and hours about the history. And I may come back. I hope I don't have to come back. Better not have to come back. You better be healed by this time. But if I'm wrong, I'll apologize. And if the worst case scenario happens, and there's nothing that can be done, thank you, sir. Thank you for always being there through the D2 years, Path of Exile years, other games we played briefly together, but mainly Path of Exile, I think, is where we spent the most time together. But thank you. All right? And I may drop tomorrow, but thank you. You've always been a cool dude to me. I never really liked hanging out in your voice chats because there's always that one-upper. You know what I mean? That's my problem. Is I've never hung out with you guys for any length of time. Mainly because people talk too fucking much. And somebody's always got something worse than you. Or better than you. Or blah, 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 blah. Somebody's always a one-upper. And that's the one thing that Guntoad and myself personally have never been able to tolerate. And I'm sorry. That's my fault. And that's the reason why I've not spent more time with you through the years. I apologize. And I'm going to leave it there. Best wishes to you. And once again, put it down in the comments. Do we need to set up a GoFundMe for T2? Because I think we could raise a lot of money for his cause. I think it's a just cause. A worthy cause. For the man that fooled the world. I remember being on... I remember talking to him the day he was working on it. I don't know if he talked to anybody else. I don't know. But I remember the day I hear click, 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 click. He's on his computer doing this, that, and the third. He was like, I'm working on a project. He's like, it's going to be awesome. And then he went silent for about 3 or 4 days. Then the video came out about him playing D3. And talking about Make-A-Wish Foundation and this, that. Made it all the way to world news, everybody. When have you ever done anything like that? Woo! I know I haven't. It's the most awesome thing. I wish I could see that G4 TV. I know the commercial or the segment in my head where the woman come on there talking about we'd like to, first of all, Blizzard wants to squash or whatever the rumors of this dude having a D3 gameplay. It's like T2 Darlantan did it. And that's awesome. And no, it's not revenge against you. That was the most awesome thing. But I think that scared him at the same time. I don't know. But that was the most awesome thing I think I've ever seen in gaming history when it comes to Diablo. It's crafts of mind, everybody out there. Go out there and have some fun. Pray for T2. If you don't pray, just have positive energy that this man will be cured. And hopefully the results won't be as bad as he really in his mind thinks it is. I dearly hope so. I dearly hope it's like, oh, wait a minute, we made a mistake. You're not going to die. I hope. I pray, and I have prayed. I'm not lying. I'll look straight into the scare. I've prayed for you, T2. I have. Whether you may think about it, whatever your beliefs are. I have. And I've asked others too. That's what I was talking about. My general manager, she's a very religious lady. You will be back. And just remember, don't give up, dude. Don't give up. Never.